Hi, I'm Sam Wade with Pure Social, also representing Patriot Transition Voice, as well as Citizen Media. I'm here with
Gary Sheffield Jr.
John Stubbins.
Excellent. Glad to have you guys on the podcast here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, man. Let's roll.
So let's do a little talk about sports, because I know apparently your father was involved with some pretty heavy sports.
22 years, a long time.
Apparently you have some
I watched his dad.
insight on it as well. So let's get the go ahead on that, and let's move forward from that point.
Sure.
If that's okay.
Absolutely. What do you?
So
what do you want to know?
let's start with you. Growing up, how was life sports centered? What sort of growing up situation did you have?
Well, for me, I mean, it was just me and my mom. So I wasn't raised with my father, but any all-star game, all the major events, I was going to all that. So it was
But
fun.
he still was who he was.
Yeah, so it was to me, it was fun, and it was nice to know your heroes, because you get to understand what made them great, and you understand the logistics that what comes with greatness. It's not just luck. A lot of people say, well, you're just born into being a certain way. But what I realized is, even if I wasn't going to play sports, it was like, if I want to be great at anything, I'm gonna have to work harder than everybody else. Like, that's just what it is. And it's the same thing in politics. A lot of times, like, you're just gonna have to out hustle people, and that's something that I've tried to. I've really grown up on. My mom's the same way. A really hard worker. I mean, just my whole family. My dad was out here dominating in sports, and then my mom was the first person to make $1 million in eBay. So it's like, obviously, my family was doing something that's out there. They're clearly outworking the rest of the field.
What was it that separated them from those?
Choice.
Essentially.
It's just a matter of choice. And some people are going to be born, you can jump higher than others, but others you're just going to have to will it, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
I've got a great question, by the way. I'd like to throw it to you.
Absolutely.
I bet nobody's even asked this to you. Other than your dad, watching him at those all-star games and what have you, those big events, was there ever another player that you kind of grew to like?
That's Jason Giambi. Not so much at the All-Star games. Just he didn't appear in so many of those, but it was just like he was how nice of a guy he was.
Nice
and how
guy,
genuine,
huh?
Yeah, how genuine. And I realized that you can still work hard at anything and still make time for people and make things fun.
Absolutely.
So that's what I've tried to do.
And I love Giambi, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Loved him. He got hit a ball.
Oh, he sure could.
He was one of the swatters for the Bronx Bombers for a little bit. I just thought, anybody ever asked you that?
No, someone's asked me who the nicest baseball player I've ever met was, and it's still Giambi. It's Giambi and Curtis Granderson.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I like Curtis Granderson too.
Oh yeah, they were great.
I had him on my fantasy team one year. So
okay.
Granderson. He played for the Tigers then.
Great player.
But I remember Granderson, good hustler.
Oh yeah.
Go after the ball.
Oh yeah.
I played center field, so I get it.
Oh yeah.
So, John, give us just a little bit of insight on what you do, what your motives are, what you're doing in life.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Yeah. Well, I'm in a great place. My show is really just taking off into the stratosphere. Yesterday, again, we signed with Salem Media, not just for my documentary, but also my show. So we're going to be doing business with Salem Media for quite a while. And now also Ben Shapiro, apparently, because we have a relationship with the Benham Brothers, and the Benham Brothers, they wanted to go into the movie business, which is what we do at Prelude. So, the show, the movie business, and we're doing it from a conservative standpoint for middle America, for patriots, for veterans, for Back the Blue, for Christians, for people that don't want to deal with Hollywood and have to be, anchored or subject to that nonsense.
Understood. Gary,
Love that.
Where are you at? What is your main message? What is your focal point, and where are you at?
Well, honestly, my main message, I'm working with Outkick, so my message is just, it's okay to be liberal. And to me, I don't have any problem with liberalism.
No problem with that.
And I don't think anybody at this convention really cares either. It's just that when it no longer becomes okay for me to enter a room and give my 2 cents, if I can't give my 2 cents and you're not okay with that, That's where my problem resides.
That is a problem.
And
That's
if you want to know who's right on these two sides, you just have to look at who's okay having a dialogue and who's not. And then when I was being myself and doing those things, Outkick approached me about a position, and that's where I knew that's where I belong. So wherever this ends up taking me, I feel like that's my path.
Right.
Because these are the people who are enabling me to be myself. And a lot of people that are liberal, publicly at least, they're just not themselves. They're one way publicly, and then they're in privately.
That's right.
They're a totally different person.
Understood.
That's a good point, and he's absolutely right. Absolutely right, because here's the deal. Ultimately, if you can't even have a conversation, let's use baseball terminology here, guys. You can't get to first base.
Right.
You can't get to first base. There is no home run. So, I think that's a good way to look at it. You got to be able to have a conversation, a dialogue.
Right.
If there's no dialogue, nothing.
Okay, so John, let's do some summarizing. What would you like to leave our listeners with? If just
We want to
put
save
it into a couple sentences.
We want to save this country. And look, everybody's different. Everybody's got different values and things that matter to their family. But our core values, I think, at its heart, I think are very similar with all of our families. We want peace. We want to thrive. We want to be able to save money.
Yeah.
Put our kids through college or maybe send them to trade school, whatever they want to do.
Awesome.
The American dream is different for everybody, but I think at its core, we all want a piece of the American dream if we can have it.
Oh, yeah.
Gary,
So,
Just
same question for you.
honestly,
What would you summarize all of this as? Put it into a couple sentences, if you can.
I would just say follow the money. I said this off camera.
yes.
A lot of people just refuse to follow the money. They want to pretend that New York City is run the proper way.
Right.
Well, we're running things great. Okay, really? Then why is homelessness just polluting the entire state?
And why are people leaving in droves?
bro.
Right?
Yeah, they're leaving and they're gonna leave in droves.
Yeah.
And you have people showing up to swing states like Arizona and Texas. They want me to believe that these
That's
places
right.
are swing states. Well, when I'm boots on the ground, I don't see these as swing states. I've been in Arizona for 27 years, and I want people to realize that my lasting message is get on the ground. Actually talk to people.
Get off your couch.
Yeah,
Engage.
If you talk to people and say, what do you think? Why do you think the way you think? I can guarantee, at the very least, you might not become a conservative, and that's okay, but you'll realize that we're more like you than the media that CNN and all these places are going to lead you to believe. And,
Great point.
and it'll be a better country.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But ultimately, people need to get engaged. That's important. Get off your couch.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't use COVID as an excuse. It's time to get active.
Excellent. Well, John, Gary, thank you guys so much.
My pleasure.
Thank
For
you.
being on the
Of course,
podcast.
brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Have a great weekend.
God bless you,
Oh, yeah,
America.
we absolutely will.
Citizen Media.